Blog Talk Radio.
Welcome to the War Room. We got Dev, Kill, Jimmy, PJ, B. Austin, the Hot Block Commander. How you want it in the 1 or 2 hour show to keep the brain running with the premise to talk sports on a national level. Bold with the topic, sorta like the rebels. When it's game time, they like the Fab Five during prime time. Sports conglomerates speak their minds a little bit. For sports medicine and sports veterans and greats. The 4th of 26, so the war in Kuwait. It's the War Room with 5 nights at the round table. 5 Philly guys, diversified and educated.
What up, War Room family? You're once again live in the War Room, brought to you by War Room Sports on the War Room Sports Podcast Network. I'm one of your hosts. I'm Dev McMillan. I'm at the round table with my brother B. Austin. Jimmy the Blueprint should be with us in just a few minutes. Look, man, there were some big stories in sports since the last time you guys heard from us, so keep it locked right here, and we're going to give you our point of view on all of them. And if you want to get in on the conversation yourselves, make sure you sign in right now to the JW Philly Realty chat room at blogtalkradio.com/The War Room, or you can join us on Facebook or Twitter at War Room Sports. You can also call us directly in about 10 to 15 minutes after we gamble with Gus and talk a little college football and anything else we decide to do before we get to the phone lines. But that number for the Digital Extreme Tech Hotline, as usual, is 323-410-0012. Before we get started, it's like we do every week, man. We got to make sure that during the week when we're not live on the air, that you guys are checking out archive episodes of the show at warroomsports.com, the War Room Sports mobile app, iTunes, TuneIn, Stitcher, Spreaker, Google, wherever. Just look us up. Google us. You'll find us. But just make sure you do that. If you come to a program late, I really don't know why I'm saying this, B. Austin, because if they come late, they're not going to hear nothing I'm saying. But if you happen to come late, you can always get the archive episodes at another time. So I guess I got to give that message some other way, because how the hell are you going to know if you came late? Either way, man, did you watch any of the footage of George H.W.'s homegoing ceremony?
I ain't gonna hold on that. Yo,
I watched a little bit of it just because the dudes in the chat, they got on the chat, started cracking jokes and all that stuff. So I had to see what the hubbub was about. It was interesting to see the moment when Trump and his wife walked in, kind of late, of course. I don't know if that's by design or what, but it's just little subtle things. And I'm not one of those dudes, B. I'm not one of those people that tries to look for fault in everything that president does, because at this point, I'm with you. Like we can complain all we want, but there will never be a more entertaining presidency than the one that we're experiencing right now. So you just kind of got to live with it. As they say, the cliche, it is what it is. You got to make the best out of certain situations, right? So I just noticed certain things, like when he first got there, right? A guard followed them to their seats so he could get their coat. So he takes off his coat. You know about this. You're going to know exactly what I'm talking about because you have children. And your children were once small like my children. You know how a small child takes off a coat, where they let the sleeve roll down their arm, so once it's off, the sleeve inside out in the jacket. One of my pet peeves, bro. For no reason, that's a pet peeve of mine. But the president of the United States, a grown man, who people take jackets for, like, he did that and gave dude the jacket all balled up. Like, dude, all this money, all this supposed home training that you've had in your life, all the high post events that you've been to, you can't take off a coat better than that. The coat was balled up and he gave it to the dude.
King Savage.
That's the thing. Like, other people are mad at him and he's racist and all that kind of stuff. I'm mad at the little stuff, man. Learn how to take a coat off, man. And I'm upset about it because I get upset about it every day. Like, I literally pulled my son to the side the other day to tell him, like, yo, you're not 3 like your sisters, man. You have to learn how to take a coat off the normal way. Like, this is not acceptable.
Oh, man.
I'm just following the example of our commander-in-chief, Dad.
But listen, because you know with little people, like 3-year-olds, right? They do that, and when it's time to put the coat back on, they're not strong enough to bust through the little trap that they made in the sleeve by pulling it halfway out the other way. So then you got to take the coat back, got to put your arm in, you got to pull it out. It's just too much. So I think this dude has grown men doing that for him. Because I happen to notice that small thing. Yes, it's crazy, man. But no, it's interesting to see how when. Oh, go ahead.
The reason I said that I don't know about HW is because if 45 had never happened, then he and his sons, probably coupled with Ronald Reagan, would fit into the slot presently occupied by this dude. Obviously, he's 10 times worse, and I think W. Jr. is like thankful because now we forget how terrible he was because dude eclipses anyone else.
That's exactly what I was about to say, though. It's like now that people hate Trump so much, like there's this sudden love affair with the Bush family.
Like Bush.
Right.
They like Bush.
And see, I'm like, yo, there's a lot of business history going on here because people are loving him and talking about how great of a man he was and how he was such an American and cared for the people in the country and all of this kind of stuff. And I'm like, yeah, you know, people that's not in love right now, they're making a list. Like, he did this, and he did that, and he did this.
My response to that is just like my cousins that come from Erie ass. Yo, Bush and Reagan move weight in the black. Like, come on, man.
Yeah, it's a lot of revisionist history going on, man. I don't understand it, but it is what it is. You know, I mean, it's like that when people die. I've been to funerals before where people went up and talked very glowingly about the dead, knowing, like, yo, you talked to me about how you felt about this person before, and you thought they were a POS, but then you come here and it's a whole different thing. All right, but let's get into what we're here to do. We'll talk a little bit more about that later because we got the homie Gus Griffin on the line waiting to make his picks for this week against the spread. So NFL fans, get ready. And before we do, gotta let you know the hot topics segment along with Gus is brought to you by MyBookie. Let's talk real quick about how much money you can make betting on sports at MyBookie. Of course, we know the NHL, the NFL, the NBA are all chugging along. So if you haven't checked out MyBookie yet, it's a great time for you to do that. Just lay down some money on the biggest games in sports. Join us and thousands of other online players placing bets at mybookie.ag. You tired of wondering what services are thinking on your corner when it's pay me time? Shout out to Nas. That's why we urge you to join MyBookie. You win, they pay fast, no hassles. You wasting your time betting anywhere else. They even have in-game live betting, so you can place wagers after the game start. And even though we read this drop every week, I still don't understand that part. But if you can do it, go do it. Join now, and MyBookie will match your first deposit with a 100% bonus. You heard it right, 100%. Just use the promo code WARROOM, WARROOM, to activate this offer. Visit mybookie.ag today. Play, win, get paid, period.
When I be placing bets, like, and it be in the game, like, I still be looking over my shoulder. Like, I feel like the cops are going to knock down the door and say, yo, that's not legal. You got to come with us. Like, they're letting you break them off. Like, it's allowed.
All right, so let's gamble with Gus real quick, and we got Gus Griffin on the line. Gus, what's going on, brother?
How you doing?
Pretty good. Last week you were 2-3 for the season. Now you're sitting at 500 at 30-30-3 for the year. So it's time to get back on track.
Yeah. It's just a thing. I left the Raider pick for my Steelers, and that's why I was under 500.
Right, because you did switch. See, this is the things that they don't know behind the scenes. You know what I mean? They don't know that you had a correct pick, and then you said, I ain't going to mess with that game. Switch that for me. Then you switch into a losing situation. All right, so this one we're going to start you off with the over under for the Titans Jags. That number is at 37. What are you doing with this one?
Okay, Cody Kessler. That should be enough said, and all the analysis you need.
That sounds like an under.
Hey, this guy, he can only generate 6 points against the Colts defense. Are you kidding me? Now, this is not going to be a rant. You're going to the Kaepernick thing.
They won the damn game. That's the worst part. I'm ashamed of the Colts.
Now, Tennessee has a better defense than Indianapolis. Mariota is still not 100%. Sometimes you can't trust injuries, but elbows for a quarterback, I think that's something that you don't ignore. So I'm going the under. I think this game has – I think it doesn't seem like Tennessee and Jacksonville have played every Thursday night for the last 10 years. It just seems like
really does.
It does.
I think Tennessee and Jacksonville Thursday night games is why I've always been sour to Thursday nights. Like, no matter what they do.
They're actually decent now.
I have this thing about Thursday night, like, oh, man, I don't know nobody want to watch that game. And then some of them are actually okay these days. But you're just so used to them being bad games.
Exactly. But I think this game
either Thursday night or in London. The Jags,
that's been in the London Thursday night. Anywhere but here. But I think this game has like 13-6 written all over it. I'm taking the under.
Okay. And then we got the Texans versus those Colts that we just talked about. The line on that one is -4.5 for Houston. What are you doing on this?
I'm taking the Texans, laying the 4.5. They're the hottest team in football. The Colts' 5-game winning streak was a fraud. 4 of the 5 were at home, and the one road game was in Oakland. And I don't think anyone considers playing in Oakland any disadvantage or anything. So Texans is -4.
All right, cool. I need the Texans to win again because when they play my Eagles, I want them to be on the longest win streak possible. I want them to be due for a loss because without any kind of, luck like that, we're not going to beat them. So if they lose to the Colts, then they're going to fire us up. So I don't want to be a part of that. So we got the Browns versus Carolina. Browns and the Panthers. What are your thoughts on that one?
The Panthers are in a bingo-like spiral. And I don't know. Cam's not 100%. The Browns actually have one of the best 2 pass rushes in the league, along with the Texans. Got that pass rush in the league along with the Texans. I just think that I don't think the Panthers are really. I don't think they have a clue as to how to get out of this funk. So I'm taking the Browns plus the 2.
Okay, and the interesting part about that seems like the Panthers being in that funk is kind of leaving a door open for the NFC least to possibly.
Exactly.
I don't think it's going to happen.
Exactly.
But possibly get 2 teams into the playoffs, which is going to be a disaster, seeing as though whoever wins the division is going to be at 8-8 or 9-7. So how the hell do you get a wild card in too?
Cam is an issue, but just for our betting, our investing public, it's not just him. Like, we know what Cam is, and Cam is subject to have these types of games because he's really, honestly, not that good. But their defense has left them. And so when you're betting on the Panthers, you have to be able to know, all right, well, Luke Kuechly, Thomas Davis, and them other dudes is going to show up. And that's not the case any longer. And I think that's
not over last month. You're right. That was last month.
Core of their losing streak. And they're not going to be able to figure it out because Cam is never going to be a steady, guaranteed move the ball type of quarterback. So if he doesn't have the luxury of going out and only scoring, 18, 19 points a game, he doesn't have that luxury, then they can't win. Period. Point blank.
That's a good point.
All right, so let's go with the Packers-Falcons over-under. The number on that one is 50. What you doing?
I'm taking the over. 2 bad defenses. Teams tend to get a fresh start on the first game after a firing, whether it's the coach's fault or not. They just tend to do things differently when the first guy comes in. So I'm taking that over 50 in that game.
Yeah, I would probably take that over too, for the exact same reason. Like, they're going to come out emotional. and the Green Bay Packers are probably going to actually look pretty good. But I think it's going to be just that one game hangover after the firing where they come out with all the emotion in the world and play well. Next week, they'll be back to what they've been. They got the coach fired in the first place. All right, and last but not least, we got who they are, who we thought they were. We got the Bucks versus the New Orleans Saints. Man, this is a 9-point spread. We all know who that favors, the Saints. So what are your thoughts on this one?
Okay, now one thing I do every week is I look for the biggest underdogs, because one or two of those three biggest underdogs, especially home underdogs, at least one or two of them will always cover. Almost. I mean, you can, it's pretty much science. And you got three of them this week. You got the Raiders 10.5, 11-point underdogs to the Steelers at home. You got the Dolphins 7.5, 8-point underdogs to the New England at home. And then you have the Bucks 9-point underdogs at home to the New Orleans. Well, of those three, just the Bucks seem to be the best pick. Of course, they beat New Orleans earlier in the year. I think the defensive show that Dallas put on, and I know they want to let those Cowboy fans go wild, but they put on one of the best defensive shows I've seen in several years. In today's NFL, because you can argue that the Saints shouldn't even got a touchdown. It was a push-off, and it was only continued on that roughing the passer. You can argue the Saints shouldn't even got a touchdown. So they may be questioning their confidence just a little bit, as great as they were playing, and that would be enough. I know it's the Bucs defense. That may give you confidence even if you didn't have any, but that may be enough for the Bucs to at least stay in that game. So I'm taking the Bucs plus 9.
Yeah, you're bringing up bad memories, man. It was surprising. It was impressive, but it was all horrifying at the same time because we knew we had to deal with, it was like the Cowboys fans won the Super Bowl tonight.
Exactly.
We had to deal with that for at least a week and a half afterwards. All right, so those are the picks for the week. Watch out on our website tomorrow, guys, for Gus's latest article. It's entitled "Why Doc Rivers is Wrong About Black Athletes and Fathers." So if you haven't heard the comments or read the comments from Doc Rivers about this subject, go take a look at those first. Then when you come to WarRoomSports.com in the morning and you see this article, you know what the premise is and what, Gus is speaking on. So, Gus, thank you as usual, and we will talk to you next week.
Wait, hold on. What did Doc say, that black athletes are better marrying white women?
What was that?
He's joking. We'll talk about it. But, Gus, we'll wrap to you next week, man.
Okay. Take care.
All right. You too. All right. That's Gus Griffin, everybody. Go get your bets in. It's football time for the weekend. All right. So, yeah, that's interesting. Did you hear what he talked about, B? Gus? Not Gus.
I did not.
Doc Rivers?
Doc Rivers,
right,
I did not.
Later. We'll talk about it a little later when we get into the hoop rundown. But for now, Fred's not going to be with us on the show today. We're just going to give you the participants in the college football playoff brackets. And if you want in-depth coverage on that, just check out archive episodes of Quick Slants. That's Fred's college football show. You can check that out at WarRoomSports.com. Or you can go straight to the War Room Sports YouTube page and check that out as well. But the college football playoffs are as follows. If you've been living under a rock and you weren't around for college football selection Sunday, the Cotton Bowl in Texas will feature on December 29th at 4 p.m. Eastern Time the number 3 Notre Dame Fighting Irish versus the number 2 Clemson Tigers. And then you have the Orange Bowl to follow at 8 o'clock from down in Miami, Florida. Same date. Number 4, Oklahoma versus number 1, Alabama. And what's interesting about this, you have 2 Heisman candidates in this game. So, you're pretty much going to have 2 of the top 3 quarterbacks from this season going head-to-head. And, somebody's going to have a chip on their shoulder because they didn't end up walking away with that award. So we're going to see how that plays out this weekend as well. B, who are your picks? Who's going to win these semifinal games? Who's going to represent in the national championship? And then who's going to take the trophy home? Is it going to be status quo? Are we going to have another Bama-Clemson matchup for the 18th year in a row?
Welcome to the Roll Tide Invitational, and I'll let Tobias take it from here later on in the show.
Roll damn Tide. All right. So, but who do you think they're going to face? Is it going to be Notre Dame or is it going to be Clemson?
I'm gonna go with Clemson. Is likely to get the bludgeoning at the end. Around here, obviously, I'm in the Atlanta area, so it was all about the Georgia Bulldogs. That got ended very, very quickly, thanks to one Jalen Hurts, who hurt them very badly when Tia Tupase got injured. And Jalen Hurts came in, and they made him seem like, Rudy times 20.
He was good.
Story ever told. I don't know why, but whatever.
Yeah, he was the starting quarterback for them, for the last few years. They acting like he just came out of nowhere and walk on and paid his own tuition and
paid his own. They actually went into the stands and gave him a uniform and told him come and play. Like, come on, man.
Yeah, so I think it'll be an Alabama-Clemson matchup again, with Alabama taking home yet another trophy. The Heisman finalists, of course, Dwayne Haskins, quarterback, Ohio State, Kyler Murray, quarterback, Oklahoma, and Tua. We just call him Tua because neither B or I can pronounce his last name, and I'm not even going to try. University of Alabama. Tua Tagovailoa. Who you got taking the Heisman home?
That boy.
Tua. I think college football is so fickle that certain things are going to play against him, like the fact that he did end up going out of the SEC championship game while the game was still in the balance and the other quarterback had to win it for him. His statistics aren't going to totally measure up to who I think is going to win, Kyler Murray, because, face it, they were blowing everybody out all season. So Tua was missing whole fourth quarters. Sometimes he was sitting out in the third quarter. So that's a situation right there where they're going to look at the numbers and they're not going to totally match up. And I just think, the voting for this whole thing are kind of fickle. I don't think it's going to matter that the reason that his numbers aren't what they're supposed to be is because they were beating people so badly every week with a lot, having to do with what he was doing, that he didn't get a lot of playing time. But I think the nagging injuries over the last few weeks and the fact that, he totally went out of the SEC championship game and was replaced by Jalen Hurts, I think that's going to hurt him in the voting. And that's another thing. Like, Jalen Hurts has been playing all season because he gets he gets those minutes at the end of the game when Alabama is creaming teams. So, yeah, it's not like a Rudy situation where he's never stepped on the field before, but, they need a story.
How would you feel if you were Jalen Hurts?
Like a POL?
First class?
I would have transferred a long time ago. But that's the part of the story. That's why everybody's loving him right now. He took it like a man. He was team first. He stuck around and blah, blah, blah. I would have transferred like a big dog.
I think boy's a noodle for Spain.
Like, yeah, I mean, you were the quarterback of Alabama. No matter what we think of you, somebody would have picked him up. So, I don't know. We'll see. We shall see, but those are your matchups and those are your Heisman finalists.
Now it's for Jalen Hurts on to the NFL to mimic Bernard Robinson's career or something.
All right. Well, speaking of let's get into some NFL talk, man. And the biggest story of the week was the whole Kareem Hunt. Hunt chugging right along, having a great season again for the Kansas City Chiefs. And at the end of last week, right before, the NFL games were to kick off on Sunday, a video surfaced of Kareem Hunt in Cleveland at his old apartment residence somewhere in Cleveland in an altercation in the hallway with a woman. And the video shows him kind of pushing the woman and being restrained from getting at her. He's pushed down the hallway by his friends. A few seconds later, you see him rushing. He must have gotten loose. He rushes out, but he doesn't get to the girl. So he hits one of his homies in the back by mistake during his rush, and that pushes him into the girl. She falls on the ground. She's on the ground holding her head. Kareem kind of gets loose again, and while she's on the ground, he kicks her. Now, what I've been hearing from a lot of people, and, if you look at the video and you take a nice in-depth look at it, yeah, this is true that he didn't kick her that hard, but the optics of the situation that are going to bury him, if they haven't already buried him, was the fact that he kicked the woman. Whether he connected, didn't connect, connected softly, whatever it was, he kicked the woman while she was down on the ground. He was immediately placed onto the commissioner's exempt list, which, you can't practice or play with your team until all the investigations are done and whatever's going to happen is going to happen. But almost immediately after that, we got word that the Kansas City Chiefs released him. And I originally thought the Chiefs are just, they're on their moral police joint because, first of all, Washington is catching a lot of flack for picking up Reuben Foster last week. Jesus, they're up there making it. He's getting a lot of flack for that. And San Francisco is getting a lot of praise for doing what they did, immediately releasing Reuben Foster, saying that they had a zero tolerance policy. Now, in this situation, we found out that the reason
neither one of these narratives are correct, however.
Right. They released him because they actually knew about the incident. So did the NFL. That stuff always comes out after the fact. But when they spoke to him about the incident in February, he withheld information. So they basically say he lied to them about what happened. I thought this was them covering their butts. I'm sitting here thinking Ray all over again. But then when Kareem Hunt goes on ESPN and does a sit-down with Lee Salters, he cops to lying to them, withholding information, not telling them the whole truth, and claims that he understands fully why they released him. So what were your thoughts? Have you seen the video?
Absolutely.
So what were your thoughts when you saw this, when you heard this news? Because this is one of the up-and-coming, stars in the league. This dude already probably can claim being a top 3 or 4 running back in the National Football League. Was having a great season. The Chiefs are having a great season. But is this going to be the straw that breaks Andy's back this year? Like, what were your thoughts about this whole thing?
Well, from a football perspective, I can honestly say that Spencer Ware is not Kareem Hunt, and we know this. So is it going to break? Is it the straw that's going to lay on Andy's back? Possibly. And you got a rookie QB who, as high as his ceiling is and what he's been demonstrating, you still have to give him the excuse and the benefit of the doubt as a rookie to say, as well as you play.
Year, but this is first year he's playing.
First year playing. You have the excuse of making that mistake and being able to, and not having Kareem Hunt to lean on in the running game. I think that it may cost them. From the social perspective, one thing that you didn't throw out there, which we'd be remiss for all of our black protectionists, is, the fact that he claims, or the others claim, that she used the N-word, nigger, in the altercation. That's what he is claiming prompted the response. So,
you know what, though? But as a people, that's our go-to. Like, if it has anything to do with white people and nobody can there's no real witnesses there to tell you what really happened, that's the go-to. And that's what he or she called me. They called me,
Yeah, and so I there are folks out there in society who are saying if that word was allegedly used, then he has every right to do what he did. And then there are other folks that are saying that there's no excuse ever to treat another human being, especially a woman, in that manner. I'm leaning more towards that because I don't know what she said. I can't see or hear what she said. But what
really
I do know,
if the chick said something about your dead mama, kick her out, call her some names, keep it moving,
and keep it moving, right?
Really, there's no reason for us to even waste time trying to rationalize it.
There's no justification for his behavior. I had to bring that part of the story up. There's no justification, and I feel as though on a certain level, while a football player is not the same as a boxer, the physical disparity between a professional football player, a trained athlete physically, and a normal human being and a normal woman is so vast. It's like, okay, you bench 400 pounds, you squat 650. Like, how do you think this is going to end in a physical altercation with a woman that's somewhere between 5'5" and 5'7" and 30 to 150 pounds? Like, what's your logic in being so angry that you accost and assault her? Like, so I don't know. I don't think, I think he will end up on a roster. Not this season. He will get a chance because it's been proven time and time again that NFL owners don't really care about
too young, too talented,
or the issues that their players have. They only care about Q ratings and what's going to draw dollars to or away from their pocket. And as soon as this kind of blows over, society is such that there's not enough people that are going to hang him in the media for him to stay out of football, but for so long. So I see him returning, if not this season, then definitely next year. He'll be on a roster. Too young, too talented, as you said.
He's unclaimed on waivers. That's just because people don't want to make waves after they saw the backlash that Washington received. But once the offseason comes, somebody will sign him. Yeah. He'll do his 6-game suspension, most likely, and be back in the fold.
There's even talk of a certain team with a bird logo looking at him. I'm not going to say which one.
Yeah, they denied interest. They denied interest in that. But everybody that has a need at running back is going to be interested during the offseason. Everybody interested now are afraid to be interested now because they just want to blow over. They know the microwave society will be over it, be in the Kareem Hunt without it making a difference to anybody. Like, you're going to have certain people complaining, oh, this is great, the NFL, and they're still going to watch the NFL. They're still going to get their money, still going to get their ratings. So, it's all lip service. He's been snatched off of Madden NFL 19, which I heard some people, I guess some woke fist in the air people the other day, like, well, that's it for me and Madden. They took him off the game without him being, without him, he's guilty without having a chance to prove his innocence, and they already took him off the game. I'm like, do you not have eyes, homie?
What innocence needs to be proven? Let me tell you.
And then even when he was interviewed himself, he's not denying anything. He's just saying, I'm not that type of person, which is ironic.
He's saying he's sorry.
Listen, he kept saying, I'm not that type of person. And then since then, of course, they done dug up everything. So he has 2 other violent incidents, one in June where he allegedly punched a man in the face at a nightclub and something else. I don't think either one of them were against women, but he specifically said, I'm not that type of person to hurt anybody, especially women, this and that. And then as soon as he say that, a day later, they done dug up all his dirt and everything is coming out.
The internet is undefeated. And who's really, really interested in? He's interested in running a dual Pro Bowl backfield. So Gerald Jones has his checkbook out. Gerald's like, look, I can put two of them back there. Two of the monkeys back there for me.
Uh-huh. None of them do care. As long as you stand up for their flag, we're good. You can beat up women all day.
Yeah, I was.
Remember we read those statistics that said that the NFL now documented is like 49% of NFL fans are women. It's crazy though, because this thing that you're a fan of sure doesn't value you, because these dudes can beat up women till the cows come home. But kneel your ass on the ground during the national anthem, and we're gonna at least broke ranks. You know what I mean? They over the picket line. They scat.
Yeah.
All right.
I was going to come to that, but I was also going to say how shocked and appalled I am at the quote unquote woke crowd, who, when it comes to things like this, they want to stand on the side of Lady Justice and use the American justice system as the barometer for right and wrong, good and bad, good and evil. And I'm like, how can you trust, like, him being proven innocent or guilty should mean what to you or what to us? Like, come on, man. Like, why would you even say that? Like,
and F you, Kareem Hunt, for what you're doing to my fantasy team right now. I started the season 10-0. Now I'm 10-3. About to lose in a playoff game because one of my best players wanna put the beats on people. Like, come on, dude. Like, you tripping right now. Yeah, so Kareem Hunt, you got caught because I guess you thought it was gonna get swept under the rug. Or he might have been sitting there biting his nails every day since February, just wondering when it was gonna hit the fan.
You should be ashamed of yourself. The way you carry yourself. You should be ashamed.
Double shame. All right, let's go to the phone line real quick. We got a couple on the line in order. Let's go out to Rob and Kylie. Rob, what's going on, brother? We ain't got all day, so don't get comfortable. Make a quick call. What's up?
What's up, man? It's your boy Big Rob, a.k.a.
I'm talking for a half hour. See, you wasted minutes. You wasted seconds.
Dang, man. Okay. Dang, man. It's your boy Big Rob, a.k.a. Mr. Snuffleupagus. Anyways, man, I just want to say hello. How y'all doing?
Snuffleupagus. What's up, man?
Yo, as a comedian once say, Shorty knows I'm big and low at the same time. But anyways, man, I just want to give a quick shout out to LeBron for that good performance he put up. He needs help. I really don't. He needs help.
You already on that? You already on the? See, that's the problem, and we're gonna talk about.
Well, he's on my team. He's on my team. If he was on your team, how would you respond? How would you respond?
No. Whoa. I'm not an excuse maker for anybody. I don't care who they play for. I don't do that. I don't switch up because somebody's on my team. I'm not saying they can't like him. He's on your team. Yeah, you have to root for him and like him. But you're already starting with the talk. And we're going to talk about this later because Kevin Durant had some real candid comments that actually made sense because it's the same stuff we've been saying here in the show for the last 2 years. But that's the thing with LeBron. Like, whatever his team is doing, if they're losing or if they're not playing all the way up to potential, then he has no help. But when they do win, he's going to get every bit of the credit. That's why it's difficult for people other than role players to play with LeBron, because fans, media pundits, people say the type of stuff that you just said just now. But go ahead. No, it was a great performance, no doubt. But the whole he needs help thing, you added him to a team of developing youngsters. So through the team, you expect these youngsters to already be all-stars. That's not how it works, Rob. And as a matter of fact,
I understand that. That's why I'm looking at trades. That's why I'm looking at trades. That's why I'm looking at trades.
You get to the win now business. So now you're ready to just give up the future for LeBron's going to be there for another 3.5 years. We don't know. I mean, so far he hasn't lost much of a step. But this late in his career, you're willing to just trade away all the commodities that you got that could take the Lakers into the future because you got LeBron there and you think he needs something. As a Laker fan, you ready to do that?
No. I never said that. Like when they put that deal out there for Anthony Davis, Trey Brown, Lonzo, I do not want that at all. One is because he's still developing. Two, as a Lakers fan, I'm not also thinking about the now. It's a complex situation because I want to win now because I want to win, but at the same time, but at the same time, don't you want to win? But at the same time, LeBron's getting older. What's going to happen after LeBron? LeBron's getting older. We need to win now. So when he does lose a step, he still has some supplementary pieces to compliment him.
I'm telling you, it doesn't work that way with LeBron. Because you're in the LeBron business, they're going to ship these young dudes away. Like, it's inevitable. Like, because at some point they're going to try to stack the team so much they're not going to have the kind of cap space that they're going to need to pay these dudes when their contracts come around. So you can already start to distance yourself from Brandon Ingram, Lonzo Ball, because they're probably not going to be with the team much longer. The only thing is like you're going to have, and it's not a guarantee. That's the thing. Like teams make all of these trades for LeBron, and it's not a guarantee that you're going to win anything. It might be a guarantee that you might have a finals appearance, but that's a guarantee in the East. Like, you're in the same bracket with the Golden State Warriors now. Finals appearance, no matter what you do, is not even a guarantee at this particular moment. But it's going to happen because Brian ain't going to sit around waiting for these youngsters to develop.
No. He's gonna sit around because just remember what it says on there. This ain't the Cleveland Cavaliers. This ain't the Miami Heat. This ain't the New York Knicks. It's the Los Angeles Lakers. No. It's just like my boy Brian said. He said when he comes over here, our front office ain't the Cleveland front office. They ain't gonna punk us. When he got Rondo, Lance Stevenson, and all those people,
talk that Lakers stuff all you want. But the Lakers are going to bend to LeBron's whim. I guarantee it.
I want to make a comment about what Tobias said.
The Lakers ain't been relevant until he came back.
I want to respond to that is true. What Tobias said about Anthony Davis going to 3-point. If he was actually watching basketball, he will understand that. New Orleans has they haven't been using him the right way anyway. He's been taking threes. He's been playing on the perimeter because the coaches they had there was stupid and didn't know how to use him as a big man. You put the big really man, you put him in the paint.
Because that's the way basketball is played these days. I don't like it myself, but it's the way basketball is being played these days. And the reason that he said that, and actually he's on the line, so I'll let him on the line after I finish this, my statement. The reason that he said that is because it doesn't matter what your skill set are. Like, Rob, you've watched LeBron James play. Like, LeBron James' team has to be built LeBron James' way. Chris Bosh wasn't a spot-up shooter before LeBron came. But if you're in the lane and you're in his way, then that's what you have to be when you play with him. Chris Bosh turned into a spot-up shooter. Kevin Love turned into a spot-up shooter. Just because Anthony Davis is Anthony Davis, you're coming to play with the king, you're going to play where the king wants you to play. But hold on, let me let Tobias on the line right now so he can answer that himself. Tobias, what's going on, good brother? So Rob said you need to watch some basketball.
Hey,
what the hell are you talking
here's the thing. Well, with that, the thing I was saying is that I was saying it tongue in cheek as well, that you do have to change your game for LeBron. And see, the problem is that we've been saying this for years. That's how you know the national media sucks. We've been saying this for years. They've been listening to the show.
4 years to say what they're saying now.
Yeah. And see, here's the thing. We got to do the math here. It's no knock on LeBron because the Nick Wrights of the world, the Cowherds, and the Shannon Sharps of the world think it's a knock, even though they won't say it. It's not. It's about guys who saying, hey, look, I'm great too. I want the ball. I don't want to be Dante Jones, Kyle Korver. Because if people read the whole quote Durant said, he was saying, like we said, Kyle Korver be eaten. But if it's Kawhi, what the hell Kawhi gonna do? And see, this is the other part of when LeBron the teams go to the crapper because it's a bunch of role players and rebounders and spot-up shooters. And when they lose, people say, well, he needs more help. The problem with role players is they're giving you everything they have. That's why they are role players. And so it's not that LeBron's this bad guy. It's that people are looking at, look, I'm hitching on these next 5 years on this wagon. I'm going to change my game like Chris Bosh did, and they blaming him for not performing, but he's the one that changed his damn game. He should be happy he changed his game.
Hold on, Rob, what, you in a train station, dude? What's going on?
No.
All right, well,
we have a little.
you gotta
Oh, no. Actually, no. No, yeah, I'm not gonna call. I agree with everything he said. He is right. Bosh was a really good. He was an all-star, really good, a really good solid forward before LeBron came, and he didn't make a spot shooter. He brought on other spot shooters, and I just hope they develop a better system. And basically, I just want the young boys to develop and don't get too antsy. But this is
they're gonna develop on another team.
Okay, football real quick. All I gotta say is we want that another team. Okay, we want that. We want Dallas, and we want Dallas. That's all I have to say. I hope the Eagles come through. But wait, actually, hold on a second.
You can't run around talking about we want Dallas and then say, but I hope we come through. Dude, that's not how you trash. You're hilarious.
I think about the injuries. But hold on a second, man. Play that track, and Tobias, man. Man, how about that podcast, bro? How about that pod? What's good, man? You live in Arizona, I live in Cali. You live in the desert. I live in a well, it ain't sunny right now, but in a beach state. Come on, man, what's good?
All right, Rob. Y'all can rap about it. We got you. I'll let you do it.
Peace.
Yo, my man said we want Dallas and then start copping, please. What's up, Tobias, man?
Hey, first thing first. It's like one thing also, like we said before I get on Alabama, is that and like we were saying also that LeBron with young players gonna stunt their growth because what people not understanding is these guys. It ain't like when we was watching ball coming up when these guys were 21, 22 years old coming in already. These guys are coming in 18, 19 years old, and they learning and growing to their bodies. And the problem is that
you can't develop on a win-now situation with the best player in the league because he comes with way too much pressure. But we're going to get back to that. We're going to talk about that whole thing.
Yeah, and that's something I think what people got to understand. And it's also pressure. Not saying no guys can't play, but it's the pressure that comes with it, the scrutiny, the cameras, everybody saying it's your fault. You can get 20 and 10 and still say it's your fault. And I'm not blaming LeBron for that. I'm blaming the fanboys for that. But I got to get on Alabama. Because I got to get on Alabama for a second. I got to tell people this. I hope Kyler Murray wins that Heisman. And they keep saying this guy Oklahoma Kyler Murray 5'10", 195. If he's 5'10", 195, I got Swampland Antarctica for you. That dude's about a good 5'8", 175. But
Tobias was nervous as hell on Saturday when Georgia was putting up that fight.
But here's the thing that I was getting at.
Was nervous.
Here's the thing I'm getting at, and I'm going to tie this all together. This is the first bad game Alabama played all season. And they still came back from a 14-point lead because the coach was stupid from Georgia. Don't ask me why you want to do a fake punt. You put your backup quarterback in the fake punt formation, and Alabama ain't stupid. They're like, hold on, why you got the backup quarterback in here? We're gonna play safe. Yeah,
some people are just dumb, man. And he probably swore he was getting over like, hey, we about to get this one off. Like, dude.
Yeah, but the thing is that like Georgia played a great game, especially that first half. They played a great first half. The quarterback was hitting perfect throws and everything. But they still lost. And that says a lot about a team sometimes, that you can play a bad game, receivers dropping balls, Tua throwing picks, he was getting too greedy, penalties, and you still came back from a 14-point lead. And I'll say this about Jalen Hurts. He still ain't better than Tua, but my big criticism of him has always been he was scared to pull the trigger. If the dude ain't wide open, kind of like how Dak Prescott plays quarterback, he's gonna take off and run. And I think sometimes you just gotta pull the trigger and throw the guy open. That's always been a big criticism about him.
Did you hear Kirby Smart's interview after the game, Georgia's coach, when they were asking him like, what was he thinking, putting the quarterback in there for a fake punt?
Oh yeah, I heard that. And he was talking all that noise about
yeah, we got his quote.
I heard that.
I'd like to explain something. I ain't punchy. I got what you call, like, I don't know, a relaxed brain, but I ain't punchy, It's just...
Hey, in the words of Eddie Murphy from Boomerang, Tyree, here's the problem. All right. Here's the thing.
So your man,
you can puff your...
Hoiberg got fired.
Hey, Hoiberg is probably saying thank you, Jesus, but I get on that in a second. I tell Kirby Smart this: you can pump your chest out all you want to, you still blew 2 double-digit leads back-to-back games against Alabama. That kind of says you're a better recruiter than a head coach, because a great coach would have finished the deal both times. But anyway, Fred Hoiberg, this team fired Tom Thibodeau because they wanted to get faster, better pace. Then they signed D. Wade, who's way past his prime, Rondo, who couldn't shoot his way out of a paper bag, and they signed those guys. Now they finally got a young team, which was one of the worst teams in the league. We're in the Zion sweepstakes, but I still have a hidden desire to see R.J. Barrett and Zach LaVine share the same backcourt. That would be that'd be some fun there, because neither one of them passes. But anyway, They finally got a young team with the young athletes that could probably play their system. They fired a guy, and they're going to hire a coach now who wants to go slow. The problem is that, like, the front office is terrible. And that's why no free agent is going to come there, because the front office is terrible, and you probably got to wait till Jerry Reinsdorf kicks the bucket to fire these goons, because he's loyal to a fault. I hate to say it, it's just the way it is.
Who would you like them to look at for the head coaching position? When interim hold,
to be
once
honest,
that plays out.
The problem is they don't have a plan. In any organization, you have to have a plan. Because, like, Zach LaVine's playing better than I thought he would, but the problem with Zach LaVine is he can't be your best player. He could be your number 2, because everybody can't be your best player. It's no knock on him. It's just the way it is. They lucked up on Wendell Carter, who's a good player. Markin is a good player. They lucked out on that, and Bobby Portis, he's Charles Oakley with a jump shot. You don't want those problems. But they got some young pieces, but you got to have a plan. And stop signing fat guys because they were born in the city of Chicago. But if you don't have a plan, if you don't have a clear direction, you're not going to go anywhere as an organization, because they have the pieces, but you got to see it through and have a coach that fits that team. And I just think that till they fix that, man, they're going to be in the same spot. Oh, and can I say this before I go back to boy Carson Wentz, man? I said this before I got to run, but I heard, like, I read Tim Calishaw was talking about Carson Wentz and Dak Prescott, the gap closing, and Marcellus Wiley was like, pump the brake. I ain't know he started the gas. It just shows that year by year things are different.
Wait,
people don't want to take into account that
3 weeks ago, the whole national media was saying throw Dak out with the trash. Yo, a 3-game winning streak do a lot for these fly-by-night.
And he didn't do nothing.
No.
He didn't do nothing.
Yo, 3 weeks ago, they were saying the Cowboys make Dak a long-term offer.
Dak better
Damn,
get $25 million.
Will have you Joe Montana less than a month.
And you know,
That's what's
you know
up.
the problem is also, and what people don't want to bring up is also, once you win titles, other teams start taking your coaches. The Eagles lost some damn good coaches last season. It's like happened to Alabama every year. There's a reason no one's hiring the Dallas Cowboys coaches. You know, but the Eagles lost some good coaches
That's how it is.
on the
When
offensive side of the ball. Yeah.
Once you win, your team gets picked apart like a carcass on the side of the road.
And you have to make up for that. And you'll take a step back, and people got to realize also Carson Wentz is very talented, but he's still young and coming off an injury. Now, they got to fix the wide receiver position, but it's not like these guys are terrible. And it's like everybody wants to claim.
Funny thing is, Tobias, statistically, he's having a slightly better year than he did last year. But, you know, it's the eye test. And if you're looking, he's not the same player he was last year. But the fact that he is coming off an ACL and he's still playing this well, at least, it's positive for the future. But, thanks for your call as usual, man.
Appreciate it,
I'll
guys.
at you next week, no doubt. I got Rob always punking out, too. He got a lot to say about Tobias. As soon as I let Tobias on the line, he's like, everything he said, I agree with. What? He just called him out. Like you just finished calling him out, saying the same thing on the internet. Now you agree with everything he's saying. Rob, man, get your heart up, man. Rob need to go see the Wizard. Anyway, real quick, McCarthy was fired, and he was fired after Packers' latest loss. We heard all the rumblings throughout the season of how he and Aaron Rodgers don't really get along. Aaron Rodgers don't really bang with him like that. Rodgers actually changing how to play. Mike McCarthy calls in. Do you think they did Mike McCarthy right? Do you think they owe him anything? Like, I kind of thought, all right, it was a long time ago, but this guy won you a Super Bowl. He coached you to a Super Bowl. I think the least amount of respect they could have shown to let the season play. Firing him now and putting somebody on his staff up as an interim is going to change what?
Yeah, they owed him. They owed him to the end of the season. I think it was Bush League to fire him mid-season. Because what's going to happen now? What do they expect to get out of that? And I heard that Aaron Rodgers flexed his muscle a little bit. That's the scuttlebutt to get this result.
It's a crazy situation because, like I said, I think they may have owed him a little more. But I mean, on the other hand, if you're ready to move on, you're ready to move on. But what's the plan? Like, you do this in the middle of the season, and you put in, Joe Philbin. Like, I don't see that changing anything. Like Gus and I discussed earlier, they might get that emotional run going on where they play a really good game this week. But after that, like, what does that really do? Like, why not let him try to finish out the entire season? What's even crazier is that one of his assistants got fired a few days later. And even though the Packers are trying to deny that it was over a tweet, it was most likely over. Winston Moss, who was an associate head coach and linebacker coach or something like that, he had a critical tweet, which he posted on Tuesday that said, "Ponder this: what championship teams have a great leadership? Period. It's not the offensive guru trend. It's not the safe trend. Find somebody that is going to hold number 12 and everybody in this building to a Lombardi standard. Period. Losing sucks." I heard, what I saw, the headlines I saw said Joe Philbin fires him. And for me, if they're going to, immediately put the interim coach up and give him that type of power, this is what, and this is all speculation, but this is what the situation tells me. It tells me that the coach Winston Moss was a Mike McCarthy guy. His tweet tells me that he has an issue with him being fired. The tweet also tells me that whoever they put in charge, Joe Philbin, probably is an Aaron Rodgers ass kisser. So he goes out and says, for us to get this done, we have to find somebody that's not going to kiss number 12's ass and just let him do whatever he wants to do. So for them to claim, well, it wasn't working out, we had some differences, that's why they fired him. No, you fired him because as soon as you got on this perch, he lit your ass up and told the whole world that you're an Aaron Rodgers puppet, and that's probably why you got the interim job in the first place. Now, that's just speculation, but in my opinion, I thought about it intelligently. It has to be what the situation was.
Pretty much true.
Hashtag Chatty Patty. Listen, though.
Hashtag Chatty Patty.
I just want to ask a question, though. Is there any chance, and again, I don't know, that much, but does Joe Philbin have a chance of being the coach from here on out? And I ask that because the only way I see you get rid of a guy in the middle of the season like that is if you have somebody that you want to test for a couple games to see how they respond, because maybe you want to keep them aboard for longer.
You kind of have a plan, right? You don't do this
you
without
want to test it out to see. Yeah, so I'm thinking
no,
maybe you get this guy
they plan to keep Aaron Rodgers happy. I think they've.
Well, that's the second part.
But this could kind of be kind of like a LeBron situation when he got Ty Lue put up there. You want somebody in there where you can do whatever the hell you want to do. So maybe Aaron Rodgers is vouching for this guy. Joe Philbin has been a head coach in the NFL before. He was with the Miami Dolphins. I know you guys remember that season where they were on Hard Knocks.
How'd that work out?
We kind of got a look at Joe Philbin. That didn't work out too well. But when you have what many consider to be the best player in the NFL vouching for you, if he indeed vouched for him, then the rest of that might not even matter. They might not even.
I mean, yeah, that's true. But also
go out and do their little Rooney Rule thing at the end of the season. They might
Before I say this, don't think that I'm saying Joe Philbin is that guy or will ever be that guy. But I also have seen coaches who got their first opportunity as a head coach think it up, figure out what they did wrong, and come back and be, Bill Belichick, right? So, not saying I'm still going to do that, but I remember Belichick first time coaching. Belichick first time coaching. I remember that. He would try to act like that didn't exist.
There's a difference, Jimmy, because when you coach
one
in
of those
Cleveland,
seasons, though, he did take the Browns to the playoffs, didn't he?
What we say, Bianca?
One of the seasons.
I said when you coach in Cleveland, that's like coaching in another dimension. So.
Yeah, but he's not the only one. I mean, it's been several coaches that have had Pete Carroll. I mean, I can name a lot of coaches that have had that experience, and a lot of them, when you hear them talk about it, they say, well, the first time is such a whirlwind because you recognize that I'm like the CEO of a corporation. It's not just about calling plays. Right. It's a whole lot to being a coach. So a lot of times when they lose that after the first time, they sit back and figure it out. Okay,
they didn't know they had to spend the night in the office every night.
So you hear a lot of coaches say that. I've heard Pete Carroll say that. The first time, although he wasn't that successful, it was the best learning lesson he had. Then he went down to college, did his thing, and regrouped. And before the Feds came, he got back out of college. But what it did, you know what I mean. So not saying that's what Phil will do, but I have heard coaches say that. Your first time, it's like a learning experience. A lot of guys don't have that kind of success.
The dude gets to coach Aaron Rodgers, so if he gets a shot at it, there's always a possibility of success.
Now, also, I think there's a bigger conversation here, because it does seem to be like Aaron Rodgers is flexing his muscle. And I was watching some basketball game the other day. I forgot what it was, a random ass basketball game. I was on my Devin McMillan joint watching the Bucks versus somebody trash. But they were having the game was so bad. Matter of fact, I think it was a Spurs game because the Spurs were losing so bad they were talking about everything but basketball. But anyway, there was a conversation about I think it was the Spurs. They were talking about Popovich and whether his time has passed. And they were saying that a lot of coaches who want to have that kind of control that Pop has had will probably try to coach college ball now, because the NBA is going, kind of like what this situation is. The players are paid so much money that they do have the power. They're not going to find a situation where a coach can come in and kind of exercise his power. I mean, even Belichick, to a certain extent, when he tried to really exercise his power, he thought he had control until he tested Tom Brady, and then he found out who really was in control. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So that's kind of, and it's a lot of old school coaches aren't going to be able to deal with that. Because you're talking about not just the egos that players have had forever, but now these guys have so much control because of how they're compensated.
That was always the allure with coaches like Pop, dudes like that, because he had college-like control over his professional program, And it was amazing to see because, in a lot of other places, you just didn't see coaches having that kind of control over their, I mean, and Sloan, he ultimately lost his control when he and Darren Williams ended up banging heads. Like, Pop he hasn't had that situation yet, but he kind of had it
right kind of
with Kawhi Leonard because he couldn't control that situation last season.
Kawhi called his bluff.
Yeah, so at some point they all get that one player that calls that bluff. I'm like, that's a new time, homie. Break yourself, homie. All right, so real quick, man, because we, as usual, we late. We let Rob on here talking trash, and then when the smoke came, he ain't want none. So he wasted.
Put his mask on and ran out the building.
The Washington professional football team, ironically, crazily, they've had another quarterback in the past, in a 3-week span, break his leg. Like, I was talking to someone today, like, as strange as this may seem, because, it's a contact sport, like, breaking legs isn't, I'm not going to say not normal, but it's not, you don't see that a lot in football. You know what I mean? Of course you see it because it's a crazy game. But we see way more ligament damage and that kind of stuff. But they had 2 quarterbacks in the past 3 weeks break their legs. This has to be the first in history to have 3 quarterbacks break their legs on the field of play. Like, if you take it way back to Joe Theismann, which also happened on a Monday night, and then you take it to Alex Smith and then Colt McCoy. Shout out to Colt McCoy. Get well soon, but this ain't really about you. The reason we're talking about this is because, of course, we all know every time a quarterback goes down, the whole world, at least the whole black world, is going to scream Colin Kaepernick's name. Washington came out after signing Josh Johnson, formerly of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I don't know if y'all remember that dude, and said that they actually considered signing Colin Kaepernick. Now, why I think this is relevant is because I think they're pretty much lying. And I'm like, why? Like, are you folding to the pressure of everybody screaming for Cap, so now you got to make stuff up? Because what's consideration? What do you guys think consideration is for Kaepernick? They went to a piece of paper and said, Josh Johnson's a free agent. The Peterman's out there. Kaepernick's out there. Let's call a couple people. I think that's as much consideration as they've given them. Like, I don't think they really
I want to throw Jimmy a hoop so he can get busy on this topic. Josh Johnson last was on an NFL roster in 2013, and he last threw a pass in the NFL in 2011. In 2011. So how you feel about him signing Josh Johnson, who is a Negro, over your man Colin Kaepernick? Talk to the people, Josh. 2011.
Wait. Let me instigate it a little more for Jimmy before he answers the question. Gruden said not to bring Kaepernick in for a workout was for football reasons only. He said it's just a matter of which way we want to go. Do we want a guy that's familiar with my terminology, who we worked out last week, or a guy that we have to teach, basically a whole new kind of offense with offensive stuff. Now, before you answer, Jim, Josh Johnson, to the lesser degree of success in the NFL, was the same kind of quarterback as Colin Kaepernick. So if you're saying Josh Johnson, like, don't give me the terminology thing. Bo ain't played since 2013 because you give him some terminology in a 30-minute week that he knows the system. So that's a crock of bull. Style-wise, these are the same type of quarterbacks. So you're going to tell me that it's not football related?
Listen, I just
y'all still call yourselves
the only thing about me is it's the dishonesty, man. It's like, like Phil always said, why ask why when you know why? It's like the dishonesty is just what bothers me. Like, y'all gotta chill, man. Stop. Why? Don't even bring it up. Just like, look, you know what I mean? Like, what's no point?
This organization,
keep it moving. We all know
the owner and the president of football operations have already made it clear a long time ago what they thought of Colin Kaepernick and his national anthem demonstration. So damn well y'all would never consider Colin Kaepernick on this particular team.
Dog, yo, it's 2018. Y'all walk around calling yourselves the Redskins.
listen. This is what I want to ask you guys though, because we know every time.
Real quick though. Think about how ridiculous that is. Think about how ridiculous that is. Think about how that's
fighting people.
Think about how that's going to be looked at in 20, 30 years when people look back and be like, yo,
he's telling us that such and such percent in the surveys that we ran said that they're not offended. Okay, but was there a percentage of people who said that they were? Case closed. There are Native Americans who aren't woke or don't know, have knowledge of self, just like in every other, every other ethnic group. Like we got black people that we call Uncle Toms, we call them coons, we call them all kinds of stuff. So just because some people put on a survey that they're not offended, okay, there's probably people of their ethnicity who are offended by them not being offended. So please, with the workarounds, that's a great point. They still run around calling themselves, in essence, if we wanted to flip it, they like the Washington niggas. But but all the black people who defend them just because they're from here and they root for the team, like when you flip that to them, like there's never a good answer. Like, okay, what if they called themselves that? But listen, I have a question to y'all about Cap because his name comes up every time. I still haven't heard Colin Kaepernick say, I want football. And it seems like a lot of people forget that he has a collusion suit, pending against the league right now. So for him to sign some deal, some vet minimum deal as a backup, he would have to drop that collusion suit because you can't collusion if one team caves and lets him into the league. So I'm like, does he really want to play? Like, would it even be his interest in playing? Like, I think he would lose a lot of points on his martyrdom if he, took one of his contracts. And then what I want to ask y'all, with him being the woke brother that he is, would he play for a team whose team name is a racial slur? Like, would he have taken their call?
I thought about that.
Yeah.
I thought about that before the other things. I thought, like, the Washington professional football team is probably one of the last places that I could see Colin Kaepernick playing because of their name, because of their general manager, and because of their owner. Like, when you tie all of that together, why would he even consider playing there? So I thought about that. I have seen footage of him working out and throwing, and if a picture's worth 1,000 words, then 1,000 words point to him wanting to still play. But you are right. How do you get around the collusion lawsuit if you sign a deal?
I think he'll make, if money has anything to do with any of his intentions moving forward, I think he'd make a whole hell of a lot more from a collusion lawsuit than signing a vet minimum with a team to be their backup for the last 3 or 4 games of the season. Like, I can't see him taking him at this point. Maybe over the offseason.
Go away.
I can't see him taking anything right now, unless it's with a team that's about to go to the bowl. They lose Jared Goff, like, holla at me. But because
the NFL is going to,
you want me to come back up Amal Sanchez?
The NFL is going to settle with Colin Kaepernick, and they're going to take that money that they paid Malcolm Jenkins and give it to Colin.
That'll make Eric Reed happy.
Yeah, hush money.
So I don't even know if it's in his best interest right now. I mean, Jimmy said that a long time ago. Like, if he ever plays again, you know what I'm saying? It kind of messes with his martyr status. Like, right now, you are a hero. Going back, like, would there be, because we have people who change narratives quickly. Do y'all think if he took a deal with somebody that there'll be some super woke people out there who will call him a sellout for going back to the NFL?
There will be.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, it's one of those things, right? When you're told this your entire life, but the older you get, the more you recognize how real it is. You'll never be able to please everybody. You just won't.
Right.
So you're going to have a certain sect of people who, whatever team signs him, that's going to be their squad, right? He can go sign with. Imagine he signed with the Cowboys, for Christ's sake.
Right.
Like,
and then everybody, they're going to have even more fans.
Oh, my God.
I get exactly what you're saying. But I think some of the same people who would start calling this dude a sellout are the same people who claims I don't watch football because Cap ain't got a job. Then when he got a job, then he
but that's the thing. You will never be able to please everybody. You just won't. Like there gonna be people that hate him regardless, and some of the quote unquote woke people will be like, man, he went back to the to that game, and so it is what it is. He can't win either way, but I guess he just has to be strategic in what it means for him, considering his martyr status and considering what he means to not only the world of sport but to just people in general, because he can make a difference outside of it. He can make a big difference without ever playing, and then probably a bigger difference than some of the best players who play the sport. They'll never have his status. You got guys
I think
right
his
now
legend
who
would grow so
team,
much more if his
first team
story
NFL,
says never played in the NFL again. He risked his livelihood for this cause. I think his story would.
And that's what I'm saying, and that's another thing that when they treated him the way they did, they didn't realize that, or maybe they didn't care. The fact is, you're making this guy bigger. Not I won't say bigger than the game, but as time goes on, they're going to be looking at him being on the wrong side of history, and he will be a legend. He's going to be a legend in a way that he never could have been if he played football. Like with his game, and that's no shots, but there's no way he could have been a legend the way that he is now. So this all actually worked out well for him. If you really,
I can kind of take shots because even though he's my favorite athlete in the world right now, I'm still never going to sit here in front. Like we ain't used to have jokes for that ball because he wasn't that good.
But what I'm saying is,
player.
Think about it though. He's going to go down in history. You can't mention the NFL without ever mentioning his name. They kind of made this dude a hero. You made a perennial starter.
Way better.
Perennial starter, maybe backup quarterback, a legend, a civil rights legend.
Yeah. As a player, like I tell people all the time, and they take it as a joke, and we run with it as a joke, but we know we're not joking. Like, he's my favorite quarterback, and he can't play quarterback. Not as a starter, not at a starting elite level, but he's my guy. Like, I love him. Favorite athlete, one read, Johnny. Can't read the field. Will run at the drop of a hat.
All right,
good athlete.
I'll tell you one thing though. He definitely cooked the Packers in that playoff game. But anyway, with that being said, man, I just think that it's going to be interesting to see
Packers be having problems with
how he moves forward. But like I said, if I'm him, listen, man, I'm going down with the legends. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
I'm going down with the legends.
Let's keep it in Washington real quick for our stat of the week. And this happened in the Monday night game against the Eagles. Adrian Peterson broke loose for a career-high 90-yard touchdown carry. They said this man in the next-gen stats, they said he reached 20.84 miles per hour on that 90-yard gallop. His fastest speed this season. They said no city player has reached a faster speed this season, and at 33 years old, he became the only player in NFL history to rush for a TD of 90. The problem with that whole thing was he finished the game with 98 yards. So 8 more carries, he was averaging 1 yard per carry. So this is one of those eye test things when you tell people. You're like, yo, the Eagles' run defense actually stepped it up for the past few weeks. They played well against Washington. And then people who go see the stats are like, what? Adrian Peterson had 8 yards rushing on him. How was that great? But he had 90 yards in 1 carry. So they made one mistake the whole damn night, and Adrian Cyborg Peterson made him pay for it. But for the rest of the night, they were stout. They were stout against the old head. But shout out to Adrian Peterson for breaking his own records and breaking NFL records. At the ripe old age of 33 years old, almost 34. There was one more. They said since 1950, he and Herschel Walker are the only players to not finish with 100-plus rushing yards in a game in which they rushed for a 90-plus yard touchdown. Herschel did it in 1994 when he had 3 carries for 98 yards, including a 91-yard touchdown run when the Eagles lost to the Atlanta Falcons.
You know what's crazy?
Shout out to the Cyborg, man. He was out. They could not catch that ball.
Yo, they could not.
What's crazy? What that's crazy about Adrian Peterson is when I think about him and where he stands historically. Maybe it's the way his career went. I still don't consider him like I consider some of the all-time greats. When I think about like the table of gods running backs, for some reason, and I don't know what it is, and maybe it's a time missed because of like injury or I don't know what it is.
No,
maybe
I know exactly what it is. I'm gonna tell you what it is, Jim.
I get the feeling. I think I understand that feeling that you're speaking of. I understand that because I think
like, I'm not
I
going to
might
sit
be
him
in
at
the
the table
same
with Barry. I'm not going to sit him at the table with Walter, and I don't know why because I think skill-wise he's probably there with those guys, but for some reason,
no, Jimmy.
I don't know.
Jimmy, he never did it. He never did it in a time or a place like a signature. When you think of Adrian Peterson moments, it's not full signature moments for his team. Is meaningful for him. Those other dudes did it in the very, very cold, meaning it was playoff time, and they showed up big. Adrian Peterson ain't never showed up big.
Ain't never done shit. You still like. I mean, Barry's had some signature moments in the playoffs, but they wasn't that signature because they never took them anywhere. But
Barry was different though. He's the exception, but
that's why I think like, he's kind of the exception. Because he just does crazy stuff.
Yeah, but he got several moments too, though. But I don't know. I don't know what it is. Like, cause he skill wise, he's probably right there with anybody that ever played this game. But it's just that when I think about the great running back, for some reason, like I don't know. It's just weird.
Well, unpack.
Other than Barry, everybody you think of has signature moments in big games, playoffs.
No, we'll make that a topic and unpack that one of the days and actually take calls and tweets and that kind of stuff about it. I got a feeling what the people gonna say though, because the transportation that most people ride around on these days is in most people's pants.
Yeah, they're gonna call me a hater.
Yeah, they're gonna call you a hater.
I'm gonna tell them the EAD. Tell the EAD. All right.
What kind of
what they mother
Yo, so look, because we got to talk about this whole Kevin Durant comments on LeBron. So we're going to rapid fire through some of these grind topics, and I'm gonna get us through them real quick. Why y'all want to grind is brought to you by Sports the Book. If you guys are tired of reading the same old bull with the same old sports list rankings, imaginary starting lineups, and everybody comparing the same 2 or 3 players every 5 minutes of the day, be sure to pick up your copy of Sports. Smart people only read the sports. It's a mixture of sports and hip-hop culture will keep you on the edge of your seat. It'll keep you laughing. Just go to sportsthebook.com or get your copy from our website at warroomsports.com. Whatever you do, just make sure you don't miss that movement. Look, man, we had to get to this one because I don't understand New Earth sometimes. And I'm, asking you fellas, like, what's the progress on that spaceship that we put a down payment on, that we put on layaway? Because a high school in Illinois, Byron High School, they had 9 players suspended for indecent exposure after school administrators concluded that the quote-unquote Oreo run, and I'm going to tell you guys what the Oreo run was, that it was voluntary and not related to hazing. What the Oreo run was these players were caught running across the football field butt naked with Oreo cookies wedged between their ass cheeks. New Earth, I got to go. Somebody throw me the keys or the key fob to this spaceship. I got to get out of here. And it's not hazing. I mean, we know people do a lot of weird and suspect stuff, hazing. If this wasn't hazing, then what the hell did they do this for?
Here's the thing, though. Like, I understand that there's a such thing as like being in high school doing dumb stuff, and there's also a certain thing like groupthink where you get together with friends and y'all just like do stupid stuff you wouldn't do when you're by yourself. I mean, but when we was in high school, our group think was like trying to take chicks.
I was about to say,
but
our group stuff might have got us like mixed up in the Me Too movement or something like that, but not cookies.
That's what I'm saying. Like, what is this? Though? Like, I don't understand. Like,
not cookies.
First of all.
Yo, Jimmy, why don't you get her friends to come through to the clubhouse? Because me.
Exactly.
Yo,
to get with my
get
friends,
friends,
and we could be friends.
Some
stuff you're not supposed to be doing, but Put cookies in your
Fast
butt? Like,
forward
I
to
can't. Like, yo.
2018, he said, "Let's go ahead.
this
Dad,
had to be-
I want to put cookies between my butt and run across the football field."
That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. Big.
I mean,
Jimmy
I
and I
don't know.
played
I'm
on.
going to assume.
We played on teams together growing up. We played on teams together in high school. I can't imagine the reaction we would have had to each other or to one of our teammates if he came in the locker room and said, "Yo, let's run across the South Lawn with Chips Ahoy's in our ass, man." Like, yo, what? We would have beat him up.
I'd have
Like,
pistol with one of my teammates. Yo, pictures though. My thing is this, right? And I'm just going to make the assumption. I'm just going to make the assumption that they part of the tartar sauce community. Like, I'm just going to make that assumption. And first of all, the tartar sauce community has this thing where they find humor. Yeah, they find humor in, like, you know, I don't even want to call it, because it's just like weird sexual activity. They find it funny. And I just maybe I'm conservative in that way. I don't find humor in it. I don't understand, like, what are you accomplishing?
I don't get it, man. All I got to say is, because how's that fun? Like you said, like, we've heard hazing go to the extreme. We've seen people do crazy things. Okay, I'm not even condone this, but at least if you were to say these were freshmen or sophomores, dudes that just got off of JV or anything like that, and this is what they made them do to humiliate them, I'm not saying I understand, but it's a little bit better than saying they just ran across the field with cookies in their ass for no reason. Like, I don't. We gotta move on, man. New Earth is something I can't understand, man.
Yeah.
We ain't gonna talk about this, but shout out to Carissa Thompson of NFL Network, Fox Sports 1. She had a sex tape leaked. We just saw this article today. It's dated today, Jimmy, but I think this might be a little bit of an older story. This might have happened a few months ago, but whenever it happened, Carissa Thompson.
I just came across.
You guys remember who she is?
Salute to her.
She does NFL shows with Dion and Shannon Sharp and all those guys on the NFL Network. It wasn't a sex tape with somebody, but she was caught masturbating. And Jimmy, I read the article further. This was on set. This was like back in the dressing room at her her gig.
Yo,
she was back
here's
there
what I'm gonna tell you.
fully butt naked and masturbating with the camera all up in her stuff. I don't know who she was talking to.
Listen,
but,
man.
You know,
all I'm gonna say is this, man. I'm not into the Hellman's thing, man. But yo, that video was kind of hot. I ain't gonna hold you. Yo, I'm like, yo.
No, because you remember people. I don't really watch that network all that much unless they got like a dope football life on or something. But I've heard people say stuff about her before, and I've seen clips of her like doing a split on the middle of a show, and people were like, "Man, I knew she was a freak."
She got them faces, and anybody who's experienced in that capacity know what I'm talking about when the chick know how to make them faces.
She did it at work though. So how many times do you think she may have done this in the past and mistakenly left the door unlocked for one of them former NFL players to come in and help her get dressed? Yeah.
In this climate, I'm gonna leave that comment alone. But all I'm gonna say is,
them too.
The tape was fire though. That tape was fire though.
You remember NFL Network? They had a rash of, the Me Too movement got to them too, and there was a whole lot of dudes. Now I'm seeing. I hope she wasn't
probably was her
one of the
fault,
people.
Though. They probably was like, "Oh, everybody like this." Yeah. You said she was with all the smoke. She was like, "Yeah, I ain't telling you."
They thought everybody
was with all the smoke. Dog, I'm telling you, all I'm gonna say, B. Austin. I don't know if you've seen the jump, man, but she got some faces, dog. That's all I'm gonna say.
Mm-hmm. So the NFL reportedly fined Elliott $13,000 for that TD celebration on Thanksgiving. You know, on the Thanksgiving game, Dallas always has those giant buckets out there, those Salvation Army joints. One year he actually jumped into one of them. Well, they fined him $13,000 because he scored a touchdown, and then he took $21 because that's his jersey number. He took $21 out of his knee pads or something and popped it into the bucket as a donation to the Salvation Army. So they fined him $13,000 for donating $21 to the Salvation Army. My thing on this one, like, okay, we know it's the no fun league sometimes, but they loosened up. You can't use props. I think he did it on purpose because the whole he probably planned it. He probably told the NFL about it. $13,000 or $13,021 is probably going to go as a donation. So I don't even really look at this all like appalled or anything like that because it seemed like a setup.
Yeah, but he tried to like talk greasy about the NFL though. Like he kind of clapped back at him. That's what made me think like maybe it wasn't fixed. Like I didn't see it, but I saw his response to the media. You know,
well, if
talking
he
about
did,
the league,
then I'm looking at him with the side eye then because $21, you cheap son of a. Oh. Anyway,
because he was like. He was like, it's unfair to be found when I'm trying to bring awareness to the Salvation Army, which sounded kind of weird to me. I mean, like you did that because it was something to do, like trying to be creative. I don't know if you were really trying to bring awareness. You could have put awareness.
We all know about the Salvation Army, cuz.
Yeah, I do. I know. I saw the Hells Angels got their own John, and Aryan Nation got. But anyway, listen.
Yeah.
My point is,
probably getting money.
You ain't see that John that went semi-viral the other day. Like it was the Aryan Nation John, and I forgot where it was. Probably somewhere in the Midwest. No shots to y'all people live in the Midwest, but anyway, and the Aryan Nation cats had like the Christmas hats on and everything with their swastikas, and they was out there doing the Yamini, and people were complaining. They were like, "Y'all focusing on the wrong thing. You should be focused on the Salvation Army." I'm like, "Dog, y'all sitting up there fully with like damn near everything but the hood on, talking about y'all focusing on the wrong thing." Anyway, that has nothing to do with me. I just found it to be an interesting story.
Y'all got me focused on the wrong thing. Shout out to Carissa Thompson, man.
Yo, dog.
On the internet. I wonder why he got so quiet, yo.
Yeah, he's doing that research.
Quiet. He got real quiet.
He's doing that research.
Let me for the people in the chat room too.
Page is fire too, by the way.
Let me post these videos for the people in the chat room, so y'all can see what y'all people on the NFL Network and Fox Sports 1 be doing in the dressing room before they come out, touching all on the microphones. Don't touch the microphones.
I may or may not have started following her on Instagram today, but that's either here or there.
She got a lot of new followers. Oh my, the whole war room don't follow her. Twitter, all that. Her follows probably went up by 300%. All right, so I posted it in the chat room for Sky V and Neil to see. Tell her to at me. Anyway, last but not least, and I know we really needed more time to unpack this, but we got to talk about some other stuff. But the ex-girlfriend of Reuben Foster delivers testimony at his hearing. Remember, this is the same girl from the last time that ended up recanting her statement. And just like we thought back when she did it, she admitted that she lied. She said, when you think you love somebody, you do stupid stuff, and I thought I was helping him out. But, he put the beats on me again, and this time I'm not, I'm seeing people. She's seeing a therapist, and she's realizing that this isn't love. She can no longer condone type of thing. From what she was saying, like, he flew her to where he was to see him. And he immediately started tripping and going through her phone. He said he slapped her, dragged her by her hair, kicked her out the hotel. Like, he did a whole lot of stuff that she didn't even really know that they were in a fight. That's what I'm gathering from what she was saying. Like she just showed up and it was just on. Like, so Reuben Foster probably has some type of issues since this isn't the first time. But if you have a chance, since we can't get all in depth about it, just check it out. There's video and there's a lot of stories out there about what she actually said and what she said in her testimony at the hearing. Y'all got anything on Reuben, the newest member of the Washington professional football team? They didn't consider Cat, but they picked Reuben up right away on waivers.
Yo, I saw her video, and, it's weird because you never want to victim blame, and I'm not going to do that because it's clear to me that this guy has problems. She said something that stuck out to me, which I don't know if a lot of people picked up on it. She said that she kept going back to him because he was crying to her, saying, I have no one. Yeah, so like that struck a chord with me. Like, this dude is really out here. He really out here hurting with something else, and the one person who was there for him, he seems to have taken it out, but he got some other, issues he needs to deal with. Like, that to me, was alarming.
That's crazy because I'm currently reading or listening to Charlemagne new book.
Yeah.
Shook One.
Shook One.
And this book, this was in junctionals with the Breakfast Club and their whole charity that they were doing for mental health. So the whole book is basically about him coming to grips and being open and honest about his mental health issues. So it made, the whole time I'm listening to that, I'm thinking about this whole Ruben thing because there's deeper issues involved. That's no excuse for him to be putting his hand on this woman, but he needs
not
to
at
keep
all,
it
not at
because
all.
there's bigger issues involved.
Yeah, but that definitely stuck out to me. Maybe it stuck out to me because I already listened to the book, so maybe that's why it stuck out to me too. Damn, like
I want
Ruben.
I was like,
damn.
I want Ruben to get his help. I want him to be able to, see the lighter side of life. But there's no excuse for his behavior. He's got to be held accountable. Maybe we can introduce him to Carissa Thompson, and she can give him some therapy, man. Therapeutic, man. Coital therapy.
Here's my thing, right? I think that but she has some issues too, because she said herself though. She said I had to basically feel like I'm worth it because she was kept going back and so they both got issues, though.
Yeah, she definitely has some issues. I mean, you could tell by her interviews and her testimony that she knows it at this point because she's seeing somebody now, and they're letting her know that kind of repetitive behavior is not what you think it is. Like you're having some esteem issues. Here. That's not love, esteem.
Yeah.
This dude. I mean, we can't gloss over the fact that this dude get a nice little check. So it's amazing what people will do to stay around the money these days. I'm not saying it's just that, but there's esteem issues. There could be money issues. All right, so that's that. Let's go into some quick birthday shout-outs, man. The birthdays are brought to you by whoever the hell you pray to at night. Robbie Gould used to be a kicker of the Chicago Bears. He's moved on from there, but I think that's where everybody remembers him from. That's where he had his best years. He turns 36. Shout out to him. Matt Maloney. Y'all remember Matt Maloney? He had a nice little run with the Houston Rockets. He used to play for Penn. He played for Penn with Pooh Allen. And then he went on
Shout out to Achille Doc Bayon. He had one of the greatest jokes in War Room history. He said if you put Matt Maloney and Pooh Allen together, you would have the greatest NBA player ever. I didn't agree, but I thought it was funny at the time.
I don't know. Where I don't remember that. From.
I don't remember that, but knowing Doc Bay, I'm pretty sure.
Doc Bay ain't say that. I think Kill Smoke said that.
Yeah, that definitely was before Doc Bay days, but because Bay say stuff like, "What's your man? Who's the best all-around player in NBA history?"
Yo,
shout out to Boris Diaw.
Boris Diaw.
Shout out to Boris Diaw.
He's the best all-around player in the league during his tenure. So shout out to Doc Bay over in Kuwait, listening to the show. Who else having a birthday? But no, shout out to Matt Maloney again because, he turned – I don't even know if Matt Maloney was drafted. I want to say he was undrafted, ended up being the starting point guard on a Rockets team that had Charles Barkley, Scottie Pippen, dudes like that. That's when Cat was new too. Katino Mobley was the starting shooting guard. So they had this young, inexperienced backcourt to go with all these old-ass NBA legends. And they weren't a bad team for a little while, but, it never really amounted to nothing. I was surprised that Matt Maloney was so
1980s basketball shorts.
Yeah.
They used to get mad
shout
at
out to Elmore Spencer, who turns 49. Like, who the hell 50 and under named Elmore? What are his parents thinking about? Former Phillies manager Larry Bowa turned 73. Rest in peace. Shout out to New York Giants great Otto Graham. He was born December 6, 1921, died December 17th, 2003. So at least he saw one last birthday before he passed on. And we also want to give a birthday shout out to some of the homies, man. Shout out to the homie James Anquay and DJ Willie G and his punk ass. We're not going to give you their ages, but shout out to them anyway. we like to give a War Room salute to all of these cats on their birthdays. And real quick, before we get into this NBA rap, y'all can check out our website at warroomsports.com if you want to call in and speak with us about any of today's topics. Scratch that, about NFL, and I'm tripping, NBA topics, most notably Kevin Durant letting his hands go verbally on LeBron James and his situation. Y'all can call us 323-410-0012. Press 1 when prompted. If you're already listening from your phone, just go ahead and press 1 if you want to holler at us. And the NBA rap is brought to you by Digital Extreme Technologies. Do you or your business need a custom website? Well, for dynamic, professional, and most of all, affordable custom website solutions, you need Digital Extreme Technologies. No need to break the bank for an effective online presence. Top quality, results-driven websites at incredibly affordable prices. And yes, you could put something on it. Financing options are available, so visit digitalextremetech.com or call 267-205-4203. And if you want to get the hookup, just make sure you tell them that they're brothers from over at War Room Sports. All right. We flying through this. Couple quick shout-outs to the cats that's doing their thing in the NBA this week and this month. NBA Players of the Week are homie my bad, I'm still looking at Reuben Foster, but Paul Millsap and the Mute, Kawhi Leonard, are your NBA Players of the Week. Your NBA Players of the Month, Tobias Harris and Giannis Antetokounmpo. They were actually the Players of the Week last week as well. So, I mean, I guess that goes a long way to getting NBA Player of the Month. And your NBA Rookies of the Month, Luka Doncic, Dallas Mavericks, and Trae Young of Atlanta Hawks. Two guys that got traded for each other on draft night. So shout out to all of these guys for receiving these weekly honors and these monthly honors. But we got some other stuff that we want to talk about. The NBA players, because it wasn't just KD, but KD let his hands fly so well, so eloquently, even though he a B.I. His stuff got the most attention because, especially when you're widely considered the second best player, on the planet, as these Americans say, what you say holds a little bit more weight than some of the other guys they ask. But basically, we're talking about why a lot of superstars, because the Lakers, they got LeBron James, and they figure that a lot of people, were going to want to just flock over there and play with him and create another super team. We saw what Paul George did. He ended up staying in OKC after, saying for a long time that he was going to be a Laker because he grew up in LA and that was his team and he wants to play there. The reason that the Pacers traded him was because they knew in free agency they were going to lose him to the Lakers. It didn't happen. You hear Jimmy Butler, before he got traded to the 76ers, his list, teams like the Knicks, the Clippers, and somebody else. Like, he didn't even mention the Lakers. Kawhi Leonard, even though he didn't say anything himself, reports say that if he goes back to LA, it'll most likely now be for the Clippers. So this is interesting because this is a conversation that we've had for a long time. And just like Kevin Durant pointed out, this is no knock on LeBron, but it's obvious for anybody except for a fanboy to see why other superstars don't want to play with LeBron. So what do y'all think about some of the stuff that Kevin Durant said, though? Because he actually, there was a lot of buzzwords in this that everybody got excited with. He said that there's a toxic environment surrounding LeBron James. He also went and pointed out that there's a lot of dudes in the media, a lot of fans who are straight fanboys of LeBron. And it's hard to be somebody, especially if you're a star in your own right, it's hard to play with him because the fanboys are always going to make it a situation where if they lose, it's all your fault. It's all the supporting cast fault. If they win, you don't get any credit. It's all LeBron. And we can attest to that by the fact that
we've been saying it for a decade.
This out in the video. When you talk about Cleveland winning in 2016, and you talk about that final game and what went on, they show all the time. They show that great block. It was a great block by LeBron James that, set up another possession for them to do what they did. But tell me, guys, in comparison, how many times do you see highlights of Kyrie Irving hitting that big three to basically seal the series versus how many times you see LeBron playing golf on the backboard with Andre Iguodala's shot? Like, that's the kind of stuff that they're talking about. Do y'all think he has a point?
Here's the thing.
You started to allude to the need for the spaceship to be built. That's one of the things that I think confirms it, because in my life I've never seen a block celebrated over a game-winning shot. That's when I know, like, life has changed. Things are different here. Like, they celebrate the block over the game-winning shot.
It was a great block.
The game.
I'm not going to say it was
I
a
mean,
great block.
but
if it was Kyrie or Thompson or somebody making the block and LeBron making the shot, we'd never see that block. We'd never see that block. Go ahead, Jimmy.
Here's the thing, though, right? I've actually read his letter. I understood a lot of what he was saying. But a lot of it, honestly, the way I took it, because it comes from KD, and that's why sometimes it's not just the message, it's the messenger. A lot of it came off as jealousy, for one, and a lot of it came off to me as him still kind of making excuses for his decision, because he's still criticized for where he went and how people perceive him as a player. Like,
I don't disagree with that at all.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that.
Sometimes a bad messenger delivers a message that makes sense, but that messenger may still have an agenda on their own. Because the way he talked about the media, it did sound like he was jealous because the media don't take rides on his wood like that.
Yeah, it sound like this was wrong of playing with him. Why don't y'all treat me like that? It came up to me as a little bit like kind of jealous, and it wasn't. He
was going at Nick Wright and Shannon Sharp's neck. Nick Wright
took it personally.
They deserve to have like their necks going at, like, when you come on set and you're wearing a goat hat with his jersey. That's like, man, listen, man, yo, man, in my King Erner voice, man, his honor has to be snatched, man. You gotta snatch his honor, man. Like, yo, I wasn't raised that way, man. Like, I just don't like, and the thing is, like, I mess with Shannon Sharp with a lot of his points, but sometimes, like, these cats just take it too far, man. I wasn't raised that way.
My thing is, Shannon Sharp, you're older than him. So I can't do that.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, that's the thing.
First of all, like, nobody at all, but at least nobody that's younger than me. Like, I can't be all on his.
Come on, man. Like, I wasn't raised that way, man. You can show someone respect without like tickling their balls.
Yo. King Erner gets it, JoJo. I doubt Dev know why, but Jimmy, you know why.
No, Jimmy explained it to me. I've never seen it, but Jimmy told us.
Listen, be honest. I spend way too much time on YouTube, man. All I'm saying is, Jimmy be saying stuff. I'd be embarrassed. to admit I've seen King Erner video. Yo, what are you talking about? I only brought that up. Live and direct. I only brought that up to say Shannon Sharp got to get his honor snatched. That's all I'm saying. But outside of that, man, KD, like, he made a lot of valid points, man. But like I said,
he said if KD didn't have cookabugs, he'd have more goat appeal. He should endorse Murray's. Yo, KD came off as a little jealous, man. And it's like, you can't throw shots when you got burner accounts, cuz. KD head do look like a baseball field in the hood.
It's funny, right? It's funny. It's funny because yesterday I'm watching the Sixers Raptors game, and they show like the commercial for the games that come on Friday. So the Sixers got national games twice in a week, but so they show the Warriors is like the second game that come on after the Sixers on Friday, and they put KD up on the screen. And like even my wife was like, "Yo, he don't have no picture without his hair looking at PZ." I'm like, "No, dog."
Put a picture of him with his hood on, since all the warm-ups got hoods on, so they be having hoods on.
Did you see the picture ESPN is using to advertise that game?
No,
I feel like whoever made that is trying to play. I feel like whoever made that, they're trying to play him.
They probably
they definitely are. Can we move away from KD being a bat? Can we move away from him being a Charlie and move to the actual message? Because the message was on point. The message was on point, and it was honorable.
saying is, hold on.
Yo, but hold up though. I agree. I agree with a lot of his points, right? But I think there's also some problems, right? When I look at the NBA now, and I think it's impressive what Denver is doing. And there's a couple other teams like that too. When you look at the Clippers, who kind of like had addition by subtraction, where you get rid of all these star guys, and now you guys are playing at a high level. Yo, I think that as much as a super teaming thing happened, I think that it's kind of going to be going as fast as it came. Pause, because what people are realizing is I don't necessarily need 3 stars if I get people to play, Larry Brown voice, the game the right way. So even when I think about like LeBron and KD, I think
it's going to be gone because some of these owners are going to come to their senses and say, "Yo, I'm not paying him that. That's not honorable."
No, but I don't even think that. I don't know if it works. I don't even know if it works. Like,
True.
The Warriors work for a specific reason. The Warriors work because they have pieces that fit a certain way. But people just be trying to add names to the roster. Yeah, people trying to add names to the roster, and I don't even know if the super teaming thing works.
Let me read some of the quotes from this article, not just from KD, from some other people. Tyson Chandler even weighed in. I think this is when he was still, he was about to be released from the Suns. He already knew that at this point, he already knew that he was trying to go play with LeBron. So his comments are basically saying, like, I'm all right with it at this point. But what he said is, if you've got LeBron, you've got to make it all about LeBron. He said this a few days before he became a Laker. You've got to be able to coexist with that and fit with that. Who are you, where you are in your career, and how do you fit in? It's a sacrifice, but it's a sacrifice for winning. And that's another thing people say, like, winning, if they just mean, being in it, being in the mix, being a contender, like that's going to happen all the time, but there's never been a guarantee. I know in this article they also brought up, Chris Bosh, how he was one of the top players in the league when he went down and joined Miami with them. The year before LeBron, the year before they joined Miami, he was in Toronto putting up like 24 and 11, something like that. He goes down there and becomes an afterthought. So in his case, in his case, he gets 2 titles out of the deal. And I think, it solidifies his Hall of Fame resume, but his legacy is different than what it was trending towards before he joined that team. Like, he's still going to be looked at as an afterthought when Chris Bosh was one of the more talented dudes in the league going into 2010 before he, sacrificed to win not 6, not 7, not 8. So, Kevin Love, for what we thought about him, numbers are numbers. We might not have thought he was as good as his numbers stated, but, numbers are numbers. He joined LeBron. He became a spot-up shooter. Kevin Love could always step out and shoot it, but he was never just a spot-up shooter. So you do have to make it all about LeBron. Like, if you had a pass being a star, you can forget that. Dwayne Wade had to take a back seat to where I think it may have hurt his individual legacy a little bit. So it is what it is when you play with Bron. Y'all go ahead. I'm gonna look for some more of these quotes.
All I was gonna say is KD the type dude to say all this and then sign with the Lakers next year.
And then sign with the Lakers.
He definitely is.
If he signed with the Lakers, seriously. Like, 'cause I've always been a fan of his. Y'all know what I think of him as a person after this Golden State thing. If he does that now, after saying it, because he said a bunch of stuff before he did what he did. He talking about back then, like, man, what happened? Everybody want to be on the Heat or the Lakers now. What happened to going at these people? Then he joins the team with the greatest record of all time, and now he let his verbal hands fly. If he signed with the Lakers,
but I don't think it was at LeBron. Like Jimmy said, it was about the fanboys. Yeah,
he said
it was about the
LeBron,
fanboys
but it's
and his
about
jealousy.
the environment when you play with LeBron. I mean, that's the thing. Even when we talk about this, like, we don't use buzzwords like toxic environment. Like, he went above and beyond to say things that he knew was going to move the needle. He knew this controversy was going to stir, even if he said, I'm not going at LeBron. So, you call the environment toxic. Dudes are going to take that the wrong way just because we living in sensitive times.
Yo, KD is a kitten, man. He need to worry about like getting the chemistry right with his own squad, man.
He named names and everything.
His own hair.
Jim, he named names and everything though. He said it depends on what kind of player you are. If you're Kyle Korver, just said his name out of the blue, then it makes
he pooped on him
because Kyle
no
Korver in Atlanta was the bulk of the offense, and he's not a number one option at all, not even close. So his talents benefit more from a guy who could pass and penetrate and get him open. If you're a younger player like Kawhi, trying to pair him with LeBron James doesn't really make sense. Kawhi enjoys having the ball in his hands, controlling the offense, dictating the tempo with his post-ups. It's how he plays the game. A lot of young players are developing that skill. They don't need another guy.
Y'all gonna think I'm crazy, right? But just bringing that up.
He indirectly pooped on Kyle Korver.
I watched Kawhi play last night, yo, and that right now, I wish the Lakers would have got Kawhi and left Brown where he was.
Yo.
And I know that.
Remember how long it took me, Jim, to believe all the hype? Yo, Kawhi got game, cuz.
Kawhi that dude. Yo,
Kawhi got game.
Who was the debate about? And we wouldn't give it to you kept saying no, he ain't better than Kawhi.
Paul George.
Kawhi versus somebody.
I was like, he's not better than Paul George. Because y'all know me, like to this day, I still think I don't put him in like the Tim Thomas category or anything like that, but I still think Paul George probably has one of, if not the greatest skill set in the NBA.
Listen,
so I wasn't ready to give Kawhi that, but Paul George doesn't have the ultimate dog in him that his skill set requires.
No Dwight Howard. No Dwight Howard with this, but when you look at their two games and you go to the playground, you pretend to be Paul George. You don't pretend to be the boy with the braids and the New Balance contract. Like Paul George's game looks more. There's more pizzazz than whatever.
You play, and the ball rarely makes
Kawhi
mistakes,
does
man.
everything.
He don't make a lot of mistakes.
Kawhi does everything. He scores 30. He's so efficient, and he goes so hard on defense. Paul, there's only probably one player that I would take over him in terms of putting on my squad right now, and that's that freak boy in Milwaukee, because he just from somewhere else. But outside of that boy, man, Kawhi, man, I forgot. I ain't gonna hold y'all. Like the time he had off, like either I forgot or he got better. Like,
I got one more quote to read from Trevor Ariza before we get out of here.
He's also a kid.
Trevor Ariza said, if I was a free agent, I would have to consider everything. But my role is different than PG and Kawhi. They asked them to do different things than they asked of me. Guys similar to LeBron, why would they want to play with somebody who does all the same things? I can see why they would want to play elsewhere. So there's a lot of players who understand they're just not going out of their way to say that it's a toxic environment and all the media fanboys and all the stuff that LeBron could possibly take the wrong way, because, he and Durant are supposed to be cool.
Yeah.
But he could take all of that stuff the wrong way. Right.
KD went too far.
But like we said, Kawhi.
Trevor Ariza was like, Trevor Ariza was saying, yo, come get me. But KD went a bit too far, man. KD, man, you get your honor snatched.
But no, shout out to Mute, man, because I'm finally a believer, because Mute will give you 30, D you up, and then walk off the corporate ladder.
and jump in his 98 Tahoe.
No doubt. So
and that's Arnold. That's Arnold.
We gotta get out of here, man. You want to take us out of here?
Oh, hold on. Dev, you got it.
All right. Well, we'd like to thank you, good brothers and sisters, for joining us for another briefing in the War Room. Shout out to everybody in the chat room, Facebook, Twitter, the War Room Sports, Game Time on the GroupMe app, and all the callers who called in to holler at us. Special thanks to Gus Griffin for contributing his betting expertise to the show. It's a lot of people still mad at you, though, Gus. They don't think you're an expert. You got to show them up. Tune in next week, live right here or on demand, as we recap NFL Week 14 and preview Week 15. We'll also catch you up on everything happening in the NBA and let you know who else Kevin Durant decided to let his verbal hands go on. So until then, enjoy your weekend. Start of next week, and we'll see you right back here next time. Have fun watching those college playoff games and that Heisman presentation. Be sure to catch our conversations on Facebook and Twitter, as well as our blogs, webcasts, and network podcasts on WarRoomSports.com. Also, make sure you pick up a copy of Jimmy's book, Sports to Book, at WarRoomSports.com or SportsToBook.com. Until next time, everybody, don't accept mediocrity. Be steadfast in the war against ignorance. and we will see you chumps on top.
Jimmy, know the blueprint. Every Thursday, 6 to 8, they do this. Shout out to Dez, PJ, B. Austin, Doc Bay on replay. WarRoomSports.com. Get that mobile app. If not, dial 323-140012. They be going and you sensitive, then oh well. Physical podcast, let's talk sports. Showtime like magic in the block push. Listen live, push one to join in. Rip your team or listen for your enjoyment. Hip hop scholars, pit stop and knowledge. Should be in sports credits, I ain't talking college. 5 guys, no beef though. Corporate secret, but the streets know. Belafonte, I got a G flow. KC, royalty, I'm in beast mode. 2 hours, get your game up. Who's the best in sportscast? You better name us. War Room Sports. Yeah, you know, Jimmy, Dez, DJ, Doc Bay, B. Austin. I'm Jock. Up and coming on the beat.
War Room Sports, www.warroomsports.com. What? Ain't no more to it.